One thing I learned about life is wherever I go, I'm going to take my brain with me. If I leave California and go to Atlanta, who I was in California, I'm going to be that in Atlanta. If I have a contrite spirit in Atlanta and I move to Texas, I'm going to have a contrite spirit in Texas. It don't matter where you run from. You got to take your brain, you got to take your spirit with you. hmm That's one thing I learned. And I learned there's a lot of people that's trying to go from here, going to there, and going to there, and they don't see no change. That's because they don't have no peace within themselves. A lot of people like to go to a new town and start all over again. But you can't start all over again taking the person that you struggle with trying to run from. You have to correct that first because you're going to take that person with you to the new town. If you was a hoe in this town here, you're going to be a hoe in that town, the next new town. You have to work on self. Nobody else can help you work on self but you and God. You have to write down everything who you are and be honest with self first. And then you have to write a list on how you see yourself and who you want to be. And you have to take that person to God. Only God can help us be the person who He made us to be. But you have to start with self first before you go into a new town. Because you're going to take that old person into a new town and still be the old person. The place ain't going to change. You as a person has to change. Nobody can help create you and make you to be who you're supposed to be. Because when that person, they're going to add in a couple of things that they would like to see. And that's not going to be authentic. That's not going to be your personality. That's not going to be who God made you to be. Because one day we do become who God created us to be. And it might not be the person who you thought that you should be. God He made us perfect. He said before he knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. That's the person that God created us to be. You have to work on self. I had to work on self. This is why I get pissed off sometimes when I fall into areas because I can't be mad at nobody but me. Because I saw that and I moved into that without God's permission. And that could have hurt me. So I have to get in tune with Tina. And before Tina makes any more mistakes, I have to be true to self and say, Tina, why are you going over there? You know that's a dead end. You know that's not going anywhere. Why are you going over there? Why are you entertaining that? That's not something for you to entertain. Tina, why are you letting that person in your house? You know that person has a lot of problems. You're trying to go over here. If you allow that person to come over here with you, you're going to be pulled back. So it all falls back on us. We have to make sure that we are where we're supposed to be in life and don't get tripped up by anybody else. We trip ourselves up. We get upset with ourselves because we go into areas where we know we're not supposed to go. We entertain people that we know we're not supposed to entertain. And that's why a lot of women get upset. And that's why a lot of women don't feel like they go anywhere, and a lot of people don't feel like they go anywhere because we entertain things we're not supposed to entertain. And it trips us up. It derails us. And when women get derailed, we stay derailed for a long time. But we don't have no more time for that. So before we go to places, we have to get ourselves why I need to start asking questions. Why you want to move to that town? Why you want to go over there out of country? Why you want to get that blonde wig and you not settled with that black wig? Who you trying to be? Because when we're trying to pretend to be somebody that we're not, that's only temporarily. So we have to correct what's within before we go someplace else. We have to work on self first. Wherever you go, you have to take that person with you. You can't run from that person. Check that.